I want $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills. I want 2 back parachutes and 2 front parachutes. When we land, I want a fuel truck ready to refuel. No funny stuff or I'll do the job.
Those were the orders given to the FBI on November 24, 1971 by the hijacker of Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305. And with those words, the legend of D.B. Cooper was born. It was the day before Thanksgiving in 1971 at Portland International Airport. A middle-aged man purchased a ticket for a one-way flight to Seattle under the name Dan Cooper, carrying only a black briefcase as luggage. He boarded the plane and headed to the rear of the cabin, sat in seat 18C, lit a cigarette, and ordered a drink, bourbon and soda. Witnesses described him as around 45 years of age and 6 feet tall, wearing a black raincoat, loafers, and a dark suit over a white-collared shirt with a black clip-on tie and a mother-of-pearl tie pin. The plane left Portland on schedule at 2:50 p.m. Shortly after takeoff, the man handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. When Schaffner slipped it directly into her purse, assuming it was the man's phone number, he leaned in close and whispered, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Schaffner read the note, which informed her there was a bomb in his suitcase. After reading the note, the man ordered her to sit beside him. She asked to see the bomb, and he complied, opening the case enough for her to see a battery attached to some cylinders with wires. He promptly informed her that he required $200,000 in negotiable American currency, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle to refuel the plane when they arrive. To stave off a panic, the other passengers were told there would be a delay due to a minor technical difficulty, and the plane eventually circled the Seattle airport for 2 hours, allowing the FBI to gather the parachutes and ransom money. The flight attendant recalled that the man was very calm throughout the ordeal, and in conversation, seemed to know a great deal about the area. The FBI gathered parachutes and captured the serial number of 10,000 unmarked $20 bills and offered them to the man, who refused the military-issue parachutes, demanding civilian parachutes instead. At 5:24 p.m., the man was given his money and parachutes, and the passengers and flight attendants were released. As the plane was refueled, the man gave the crew some very specific instructions. The plane would head southwest towards Mexico City at approximately 100 knots, no higher than 10,000 feet altitude. Landing gear would remain deployed, wing flaps would be lowered 15 degrees, and the cabin would remain depressurized. After a couple hours, due to a problem with the fuel truck, the Boeing 727 was back in the air, this time trailed by 5 other aircraft. After confining the crew in the cockpit, the man lowered the air stair apparatus, and the aft door was opened. The crew reported that at 8:13 p.m., the tail section of the aircraft sustained a sudden upward movement, and nobody heard from the man again. When the craft landed at Reno Airport at 10:15 p.m., the air stair was still down. The police moved in and searched the plane, and found the man was gone. The authorities were left with 66 fingerprints, the clip-on tie, and 2 of the 4 parachutes, and composite sketches were created to help identify the man. A man from Oregon by the name of D.B. Cooper contacted the FBI for fear the hijacker may have used his identity, and in haste, the press confused the man's name for the name the hijacker had used, rather than Dan Cooper, leading to the name we all know the hijacker by today. For years, the FBI organized searches of the area underneath the flight path. It was difficult to pinpoint a search zone, but they did their best based on speed, height, and distance, and a handful of enormous search parties descended on the area. Nothing related to the hijacking was ever found during those searches. However, a few chance encounters led to the discovery of some physical evidence. In 1978, a deer hunter discovered a piece of the instructions from the aft stairs of a 727. In 1980, an 8-year-old found 3 packets of the ransom cash while vacationing near Vancouver. And as recently as 2017, a group of investigators claimed to have a partial parachute strap and some foam that is believed to be part of the hijacker's backpack. The FBI has also confirmed that the ransom money never re-entered circulation. In 2016, the case of D.B. Cooper was suspended from active investigation by the FBI. They are still accepting information, but are not pursuing the case. To this day, nobody has come forward, and nobody knows who Dan Cooper was, or if he even survived his descent. What do you think happened to D.B. Cooper? Do you think he could have survived the drop? Do you think he'll ever be caught? Give us your theories in the comments below. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, and stay strange.